If you can change how you talk to yourself, you can change your entire way that you are. Just stop being a jerk to yourself. Stop being rude to yourself. Stop talking down to yourself. It's not easy. It's insanely difficult. But the problem is, you don't know why. You don't know why you talk so down to yourself. And the real answer is, you've taken the job of your abusers. You've taken on the script from those people that traumatized you, those teachers that traumatized you, your parents, your exes, your siblings, relatives. You've taken on their words and put those words onto yourself. Because the issue is, if it keeps coming from outside, I can't control the outside. And I'm always going to be scared and uncertain, and the outside can always come at any moment. But this is our lower vibrational ego that wants to do its best to protect us. It says, I have an idea. What if we take what they're saying to us that hurts us so much? What if instead we just start saying it to ourselves? And what happens is, you stop becoming this vulnerable target for people to target, because you're already being targeted. You're being targeted by yourself. And this is why we walk the path. This is why we sit down and we take a second. We take a breath. We listen to the internal voice inside of us. And we give space and room for that shadow self, that version of ourself that's trapped in this ego resolution that happens over and over and over again. We give space for that part of us so we can take that shadow self and start to give it grace, space, love, and start to integrate it into who we are. Because we'll never get to the point where we can change the script, where we can change how we're speaking to ourselves. We can't change how we think about ourselves. We can't change our internal dialogue. You idiot, how dare you? What were you thinking, dude? Why'd you even try? Just give up, stop. This is stupid. Don't. Though our internal dialogue that talks down to us, will never change that unless we start dealing with the roots of where it came from. And we can't fix all the traumas of our past, but where we are applicable in that chain of events, where we became the participant of internalizing the traumatic speak that we say to ourselves, we can own our part of that chain. We can start to be the difference that takes our internalized words and starts to change them, because we realize why we're doing it. I was reading through an old journal and I found something that I wrote out because I wanted to put it into words, and I didn't even know that I needed to put it into words yet. And this was my internalized voice. And this was my process of discovering my own internalized traumatic voice that I had for myself. As I have moved past my traumas, I have inherited my captor's task toward myself, and I do it happily. I gleefully restrict the scope of my hopes and endeavors with harsh, critical words and impulses until everything I desire feels like a wasteland, and I stand among nothing, finally getting what I deserve for wanting. You don't want, you can't have, you need to sit down and shut your mouth. You are ungrateful. You are pathetic. You are disappointment. Have what you want, but just know it's all fucking bullshit, and so are you. Go ahead. Fucking go. No. You're free to choose, free to make whatever choices you want, because your freedom makes you worthless. Your freedom is evil. Your freedom destroys my heart, but go ahead. You're free. Do what you want. I will love you no matter what, my sweet little piece of shit. Go fuck yourself and choose what I don't want you to. I hope you enjoy it and your pain kills you for it, but don't worry. You're free. For me, my internalized voice needed to be way harsher than anything I'd ever heard or felt, because that's how I had to gain control. I had to go farther than anyone else had ever done and hurt myself more than anyone else had ever done, because I needed to have that much control. If I can hurt myself way more, then when you say something and it hurts, I won't even feel it. When you actually sit down and give yourself space to sit with that hurt part of you that recycles your pain over and over again, when you can sit with that part of you and learn to give that part of you grace and learn to give that part of you love, that's how you start to break the identity of that internalized voice. So many times in my ego, I'll be like, shut the fuck up. I don't want to hear you. You're hurting me. Go away. But that's fighting fire with fire. That's fighting with trauma with trauma. That does not work. You cannot fight trauma with trauma. You can't take something that feels dark and fight it with more aggression and more anger. That's not how you help dark parts of you that are still in the shadow. No, the way that we heal the hard parts of us that are hidden in the shadow is we learn how to step into that space. We step into that space with love. Hi, I love you, okay? I now recognize why you were speaking so harsh to me. It wasn't because that's what you thought. It wasn't because that's what I am. No, you were trying to do your best to protect me. You were trying to do your best to love me. And the way it came out was definitely hurtful. And I spent a lot of time and a lot of years living with a very hurtful script inside of my head, repeating over and over again. But listen, thank you. Because I want to honor that it came from a place of love, that you were trying to protect me from things that hurt me. And yes, it hurt me too, to be part of that process, but we're not here to fight hurt with hurt. We're here to give hurt love. So thank you for loving me enough to do the thing that hurt me to protect me from being hurt more. And I want you to know that maybe I'll still think those thoughts about myself, but I want you to know that I love you and we're going to do this together. And when you can meet that part of you there, you're meeting you there. You're meeting that hurt part of you. Okay, obviously in your brain you weren't like, I'm now going to speak worse to myself so that other people can't hurt me as much. No, but we operate how we need to operate to survive. And we're thankful that we survive because we like who we are. We like who we are. We like who we've been. And we like where we're going. And maybe you can't say those words like, I really like who I used to be because I think I was a dick. Hey, you are who you are right now because of where you were. And so at some level, you can like the fact that you are you, and it took you being what you were when you needed to be who you are now. And the same for who you are now, for the beauty that's opening right now, because you're doing the work. Because when you do the work, that's when your shit changes and your world starts to shift and your understanding of who you are starts to radically change, and you'll start to change without even knowing it, and people around you will start to look at you as if something's different about you, and they won't be able to tell why, because you're doing the fucking work. So you keep doing that goddamn work. And me too. I'm right here with you. All right? We're doing it. Let's go. Bless.